Hi there and welcome to Hearthside. My name is Michelle. I am the author on this blog, and I've just been making some video copies of all my entries just to make them a bit more accessible to everyone. I'm nearly through getting through all the ones that are currently up, and then I'm hoping that in the future I will be able to release a blog entry and then within the same week release the video copy. So yeah, I'm looking at May of this year, and around this time I didn't have a lot of time to be doing any research or anything because I knew that I was moving. But I did want to tell a particularly interesting story that happened to me this year, or over the course of the last couple of years, I guess, but accumulating in around the vernal equinox of this year. So this is entitled Unintentional Land Cult Creation, and I do a little bit of woodworking, a little bit of handicrafts, especially in the winter. It gives me something to do, and the first wood carving that I made was a little gnome sculpture, and I didn't really have any intention to use it for anything or whatever. I saw the pattern online. I'm like, that looks like a easy first project, so that's what I made. And then when it was finished, I'm like, well, what am I going to do with this? So one of the things I like to do is I like to go hiking in one of the provincial parks that's nearby to the city. And so I decided I was going to take this gnome with me and hide it somewhere, because I go into the park and quite often I go off trail, so like it'd sort of be like a geocache, but I wasn't going to mark it or anything, or just for whatever reason. Like, so I found this spot that had a big hollow stump in the middle of the woods, and I put this gnome in it, and like, I didn't think too much about it at the time. I'm like, this looks like a good place. Like, it's kind of like a mossy old stump, like, whatever. And so every few months I would just sort of wander by there and see if it was still there, because I figured if someone found it, like, they'd either make it into a geocache of some sort or they would probably take it. So I'd go back, see if it was still there and whatever, just to see what was going on. And so I went back there at one point, and I noticed that around that area, someone had built like little, they almost looked like houses out of birch bark that had been standing up against like fallen trees and stuff in that area. So that was kind of interesting. And the same time I noticed that they had come to the stump, and the gnome was still in there, but they had either like used a wood burning tool or like some way of carving or painting it so that there was a pattern on the outside of this stump that made it look more like a house. So I'm like, well, that's cool. Like, someone's decided like it's a fairy home or whatever. They found it obviously, but they haven't harmed the gnome or taken the gnome away. So that was kind of cool. So, like, more time passes, and I go back there again, and this time I discover that in the other hollow part of the stump, there's a little bell and a candle in there. And so now I'm kind of like, well, this is starting to get interesting. Like, is someone using this as like a sort of land cult of some sort, worshipping the Vatir or whatever they believe in? So that was like kind of cool. But like, whatever, I just like left it alone again and went on my way, until it was the week after the spring equinox this year. I was out snowshoeing, and I decided to go check on my gnome one more time, and I'm getting close by to where the area is, but it's quite thick trees, and I hear this sort of strange high-pitched sound, which I don't know what it is. So like I'm cautiously moving forward through the trees, and as I get closer to where this stump is, I see two women. And they're standing there, and they're clearly mid-ritual, so I don't want to disturb them. So I go past and sort of by, and I know this place where there's a fallen tree, and my intention was to sit on this fallen tree and wait till they're done, and then like ask them about what they had been up to, and like just let them know that I had made the gnome. But this particular day was extremely, extremely cold. And so I'm waiting, and while I'm waiting there, like I can hear them like chanting just out of my sight range, and I can smell incense wafting, and then I can hear them pouring out some sort of liquid into the snow. But I can't quite see what they're doing from where I'm sitting. So I'm waiting, but they're going on for a very, very long time for a ritual, and it's very, very cold, and the area where I'm in is shaded by all the trees, so I'm like, I'm going to move a little bit farther over so I can stand in the sun while I wait for them, which I did, and I can hear them singing, and then the singing stops, and I go back to check on them and see if I can talk to them, and they've completely found another way out of that wooded area and got past me. So I don't know exactly what they were doing. It seems really cool. It's really neat that they chose that spot and they found my gnome. I'm hoping that I'll meet them again in the future, and I thought I'd share that story and see if anyone else has had any similar experiences where something they did might have created some sort of land cult following or something else similar. So that's it for this one. I hope to see you for the next one. Thank you.